The Quran is basically towing the same line of saying, look, there have been changes in the previous scriptures. Stephen Byington, in his translation of the Bible, wrote an introduction, and in that introduction he calls to attention what Jeremiah said in chapter 8, verse number 8, and he said, whereas Jeremiah was complaining about the scriptures as they existed in his time, we would be hard-pressed to prove that what we have now are not the same corrupted scriptures which Jeremiah was complaining about.
All right, Shabir seems interested in textual variants, as if these show that a text has actually been corrupted. That's very interesting because there are textual variants that go back to the very earliest strata of Islam. Uthman gathered them all together and tried to burn them to conceal them, but they still remain in various writings. Chapter 33, verse 6 of Yusuf Ali, the prophet is closer to the believers than their own selves, and his wives are their mothers. No problem there until you look at the footnote where he talks about other versions of the Quran. Yusuf Ali adds as the footnote, in some qiras, like that of Ubay ibn Ka'b, occur also the words, and he is a father of them. So the Quran that you actually have says, and his wives are their mothers, and Ubay in his Quran has the words, and Muhammad is a father to them. Now, that's called a variant, right? Do those differences mean that the Quran is corrupted? If you say no, then it wouldn't mean the same thing to have the Torah or the Gospel corrupted, to have these kinds of textual variants. My point is, if you're saying that the Bible is corrupt on that basis, then the Quran would be as well. Shabir appeals to Jeremiah 8:8. This is actually something very similar because it talks about the lying pen of the scribes. We actually know that Jews back in the time were writing commentaries and so on, and they would put out their commentaries as authoritative as well. So is Jeremiah referring to the corrupt text of the Torah? No, because through the rest of the book of Jeremiah, he refers to the law as they have. Jeremiah 26, 4 through 6, say to them, this is what the Lord says, if you do not listen to me and follow my law, which I have set before you. The rest of the text of Jeremiah presupposes an accurate copy of the Torah. So can he be saying in 8:8 corruption? No. Notice the same pattern. You go to the Quran, find anything that can be remotely interpreted as corruption of the Torah and the Gospel, and that's your proof.